I'm Anna.
I'm Anna.
And this is Daniel.
Hello.
He's our guest of honor today.
Yes.
Of honor, wow.
Yes.
We're very excited to have him on. We're going to talk a lot about what Daniel has going on here in the Valley and kind of how he got to be where he's at. And before we do all that, though,
We're going to do the Russian word of the day.
Yes. What's the Russian word of the day?
Spasiba. That means thank you, and that's a really good word to know because it's really always nice to thank people. So don't forget it's spasiba.
Yes.
Yes.
So, spasiba for watching the show.
Spasiba.
But Daniel, why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about yourself and kind of how you ended up in the tech space?
Sure, so my family is originally actually from Russia.
What town are you from?
From Kiev in Ukraine.
Oh, okay. I'm from
By the
Moscow.
time-
Yeah.
okay,
I'm
so-
from St. Petersburg, so we're kind of all over
Okay,
the
yeah,
place.
so by the time my parents left, it wasn't really the USSR anymore, so it was Ukraine. But so I've always kind of been around tech. My mom works for Oracle, my dad works for a software company, so I always grew up around it, and after school I would go to their offices and kind of learn and kind of just soak all of this information in. And one day I just decided to start something.
Okay.
And that's kind of where my start began, and that was almost 5 years ago.
Wow. And how
what
old are
was
you
the
now?
first thing that you did?
The first thing that I did was start a blog.
Okay.
So I started a blog. I started writing about the giants and how they were doing, and then I was writing about technology, and then I found this guy, Leo Laporte, and was amazed with what he was doing and the audience that he had. So I decided to start my own podcast a few months later, and that was known as the Apple Universe Podcast, and that became one of the larger Apple-themed podcasts.
Tell us about Teens in Tech and how you got involved in it. And
Yeah, so Teens in Tech, it's a really fun company. We do a couple of things. We have a conference, so we do a few conferences a year. We also have an editorial side where we actually write about young entrepreneurs and their startups and trying to help them out a little bit on the press side. And then we also work with large brands like HP on their marketing strategy.
How old is the youngest entrepreneur that's involved with Teens in Tech?
The youngest, I think he's 14.
Oh, wow. What is
Yeah.
he involved in exactly?
He's
14?
our editorial director.
Oh,
Oh,
So
wow,
he's the head
that's
of all
pretty
of our
impressive.
content. He's amazing. His name is Jake. You'll probably see him writing a ton.
And so, do you think that Teens in Tech has a big enough audience to where eventually you guys might be able to go global?
That's the goal. We're looking at New York as our next conference destination, and after that, looking to go international. I mean, there's entrepreneurs everywhere in the world.
I've noticed that a lot of the entrepreneurs, they just get younger and younger, and there's so many people that actually end up starting companies or working at startups instead of going to college. And what do you think about that, college or the startup?
Yeah,
The reason we're seeing so many of these kind of younger entrepreneurs is because the resources are available, making it easier and easier to get started.
Yeah.
In terms of college, I'm actually in college right now, and for the longest time, I thought I didn't need college, that, I was doing fine. I didn't need this, 2.5 months into it, I realized how much different I thought it was going to be. For me,
good for
high
you.
school was a complete train wreck. It was a complete waste of time. I didn't feel like I was doing anything there. I didn't want to go, and so for me, college, the first kind of realization that I think I'm going to like this is when you get to pick your own classes and you get to realize that you are kind of in control of your education for once. In high school, I didn't feel like I was in control of education.
I also had a similar experience to you where I actually dropped out of high school my sophomore year because I was bored out of my mind, and I actually went straight into college. And it was like I was failing classes and not doing really well. And then I ended up going to junior college for my junior and senior year of high school. And I did really well. And I actually ended up scoring an academic scholarship to keep my education going.
Well, I think, it's a mentality kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's, with my school, it's a little different because I go to a junior college, but it doesn't feel like a junior college because the classes that I'm taking are actually like Stanford level classes, or the classes that they offer, not that I'm taking. So it definitely feels like, it's you're in the college experience, but it's weird when you have like 50 and 60-year-olds in your like math class or something. But at the same time, it's kind of inspiring that they're actually going back and doing something, and I think that's really cool.
So, and what are you working on now?
Obviously, there's school, which is the big one. There's Teens in Tech, and then there's a company I work for called Quick. which lets you stream live video through your mobile phone as well as video chat through your mobile phone.
How's Quick doing?
Yeah,
Quick
how's
is doing
Quick doing?
amazing. I don't know if you saw it yesterday, the T-Mobile MyTouch 4G launched, and there's video chat powered by Quick, which is preloaded, and Sprint is preloading us on tons of devices. I mean, it's going better than we were expecting.
Great. No,
Yeah.
congratulations. And
Thank
what
you.
about the iPhone cases? I know you're involved with some kind of an iPad,
Yeah, so
iPhone cases.
so what we launched is what was called iPad Case Finder, and then iPhone Case Finder came later. It was basically a directory where you could search for iPad cases depending on leather, like what kind of material, price, color, and stuff like that, and then we would take you to Amazon or the direct, retailer to buy the case. We actually sold the site about a month ago to someone who's actually doing distribution now. So that was something we
Okay.
didn't want to get into.
'Cause that's too
Distribution.
complex.
Yeah, distribution, especially with Chinese manufacturers, it's very complicated. Takes a lot of time. Definitely
Yeah.
not something that a student can do and
Go to
do
school.
this. So
Yeah.
we decided we sold it to someone who already had his kind of foot in the distribution channel and decided to take it from there, and we're very happy with what he's doing.
So, how about TechCrunch? Can you tell us a little bit
Yeah,
about your...
I started out as a little blogger, 3 years ago before joining TechCrunch, and then when I joined TechCrunch, it's like, you go from this little blogger to this, guy who gets his posts read
huge
hundreds
blogger.
of
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
hundreds of
amazing.
thousands of times, and it was really cool. I mean, being part of that, and I wouldn't change anything of the experience. It was definitely one of those experiences that you get to ride, and you ride it as long as you can and have as much fun doing it.
I also noticed that TechCrunch kind of recently in the last few months also got into the video space, and they're doing TechCrunch.
Yeah, they have the
TV,
videos
So
now.
that was the last
powered by
thing.
Ustream.
Yes.
By the way. Thank you, Ustream.
So that was kind of the last thing that I worked on before leaving in
Yeah.
February. They hired Evelyn, who came from Forbes,
Yeah.
so very kind of traditional media. For the longest time, with the TechCrunch 2040-50 conference and now Disrupt, we've always had to hire these video crews. Now we have the resources to do it ourselves and do these backstage interviews and stuff like that. I think they're definitely going in the right direction. There's still a lot that needs to be done.
No, definitely. I have one last question for you. So the
Yep.
other day, I don't remember if it was yesterday or the day before, I was reading TechCrunch, and I read about all the drama happening between Arrington and
Yes. Yeah, I'm not sure how it is now, but I'm sure Jason has the best intentions on what he's working on with Mahalo, and he has this weekend and stuff like that. I don't know what to think of it. I mean, I kind of saw this coming, especially knowing Jason and his relationship with AOL, because he did sell his last company, Weblogs Inc., to AOL.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I just think it's interesting with the whole conference space. Obviously, if you're partnering with somebody to throw a conference, you can't really call a conference format proprietary because
Exactly, and the context and the speakers. I mean, it's especially being in the conference business. I just don't understand how they're gonna split it up, or what they could split up. I mean, sure, you can split up contacts and stuff like that, but what else is there?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting to see what will end up getting kind of defined as intellectual property and what's kind of just flowing out there. This free cloud,
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but that's a story we'll definitely be following.
Talk about next week. Well, we have our thank you so much, Daniel.
Thank
and
you.
now we're going to have LaurieAnne join us.